T. Clark here, and this video is about the 3D written response for create task. So 3D, you want to create a written response that does all three. Describes two calls to the procedure that we talked about in 3C, that you talked about in 3C, and each call must pass a different argument or set of arguments that causes a different segment of code in the algorithm to execute. Okay, it has to describe what condition is being tested by each call to the procedure, and it has to identify the result of each call. Okay, for this one has 1 point, scoring row 6, the last point. So the written response must describe the two calls. Each call must have different arguments. It has to describe the condition being tested by each call to the procedure and identify the result of each call. So responses that do not earn the point in 4 may still earn the point in row 6. And you will not get the point in row 6 if the procedure is not identified in 3C, or if the procedure does not have a parameter. So I talked about that when I was doing 3C. It has to have a parameter, at least one parameter. Okay, the written response for 3D does not apply to the procedure in 3C. So the code you have in 3C is for everything for part C and D. So it's the same procedure for both C and D. The two calls, you don't get the point if the two calls cause the same segment of code in the algorithm to execute, even if the result is different. So even if the result is different, if the same segment of code in the algorithm is executed, that won't work. The response describes conditions being tested that are implausible, inaccurate, or inconsistent with the program. And the last no point is if the identified results of either call are implausible, inaccurate, or inconsistent with the program. Okay, my hints are write out both calls. Actually include both calls in the function. Actually, you have to do this. So I wrote this before I actually figured out what was expected. So you have to do that. Include the result. Very clearly state the result for each of the two calls. As in my first call will return the value 100, while my second call will return the value -20. So again, these are laid out in steps 2 and 3. So actually, that's it for 3D, the prompts. And the written response is pretty straightforward. So again, my program, my parameter, my procedure is the drawBox function with all these parameters. So I'm going to say I have two calls. My first call will be draw. Wait, I like to do it in code font, so monospace font. Courier New, I like PT Mono, so I'll just do that. Looks more like code. So drawBox. I'm going to do the upper left corner, and if I remember, it was -150 and 150. And if I had a 300 by 300, it'd be just 60, 60. 300 divided by 5 rows, divided by 5 columns is 60. And then the it would be BG color. I'll put a note in here. Let's do a note. BG color has the value white. But it doesn't matter because in my code it says BG color right there on line 90. So I don't think I need to do that. I'll just keep it white, which I'll probably put that somewhere else. So I just want the first call. So this is the first call. And the second call is going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this. And I looked at it before. It's going to be on the right, all the way to the right. So it's 90 and it's in the middle. So it's 30 because it's 60 by 60. It's the same size. And instead of white, it's going to be the goal, which is gray. And if I looked at my video again, I'll just show you in the running of the code. Let's say 300 by 300. I have this box up here and this box over here, which is gray. And it shows it in the video that these are the two boxes. Okay, so I need to talk about that. I can't actually talk about it in a video like I'm doing now, so I have to do that in part 2. So part 2 is describe what the condition is being tested. So the condition being tested is the color. In this case, the color is BG color set on line 90, was it? Yeah, BG color set on line. So So the box is not filled in. It draws a box that is 60 by 60. And again, since it's dimensions, you don't need it. You could put a space between it, but since it's counting words, you might be able to get away with more if you have it 60 by 60 as one word. So that's one word. With the upper left corner of the box at coordinates -150, 150. So that's my first call. So that's this one right here. So I have my upper left corner, -150, 150. 60, 60 is the dimensions, and BG color is that condition that's tested. So again, you want to talk about the if statement. In this case, the C is the BG color. In this case, the color C, so I'm going to use the variable C is BG color, has the value of BG color, and the if statement is true. I don't even think I need to say set on line 90. Yeah, I'll just say it's going to be C has a value of BG color, so the if statement is true. If statement on lines 65 and 73. So again, I'm talking about the procedure. I'm talking about the code here. I'm not talking about the code elsewhere. I'm talking about the code that's in this procedure draw box. So I'm saying C has a value, same value as BG color. So actually it's false. Okay, so 65 is false. Good thing I noticed that. Has the same value as BG color, in this case white. And the box is not filled in. Okay, so I'm going to copy this code, this response, and paste it in and modify it. So condition being tested is the color. In this case, the color C is gray, has the value. So the if statement is true, and the box is filled in. It draws a box that is, 60 by 60, with upper left corner at 90 and 30. Okay, what's the result of each call? The result of the first call is the upper left box for the 5 by 5 grid. That is 300 by 300, right? Pixels is drawn with empty insides. Right. And then I'll just use the same sentence here. The middle right box for the 5 by 5 grid is drawn with filled in insides, color gray. And I'm pretty sure that's less than 200 words, but you can double check and you can highlight everything and go Control Shift C, 50, 50, 50, 50. Yeah, this is what, 25 words, 18 words. Yeah, definitely underneath. Okay, triple check, double check. You have everything good. Spelling grammar is good. Filled insides. Okay, I'll keep that. And then what you want to do is you want to copy each answer. So you have to copy each answer into the digital portfolio. So make sure you go to the digital portfolio and you submit each box separately. There's going to be a different submission for each entry: 3A1, 3A2, 3AB, 3B1, 3B2, 3B3, so on and so forth. You're not making PDF of this. You're going to copy everything. So what you could do, you could just do tab and then shift tab to copy everything if you wanted to, or just highlight everything. Copy, paste, and double check that you paste it correctly when you paste it into the College Board digital portfolio.